I may put something else there later. Oop. Somebody's losing attention. Now see how effective that is at channeling people into where I want them. So now I'm going to start placing doors, doors, and doors, doors, and doors, and doors, and doors. And once I get this layer back in here, I'll put even more doors in there. Okay, so now that's all complete. Now that I think about it, since there's no agents on the island, I'm going to go ahead and break this connection in order to allow my minions in and out without interruption. And this door I'm simply going to lock for now. They can come in here and build these later. As for you, sir, is he immediately going to just go right through the door, or what? No. Okay, so what I did is I scheduled him for termination. So once he leaves that door, I'm going to lock it again. Now, this is useful to do, but you don't want to do with any higher ranked minions. Oh, come on. Okay. Now, watch what happens. Now you see the circle of influence around Max, right? Any minions in that area will gain an increase, but watch this. You see how it extended? It got bigger. It's a little hard to see because I'm in a narrow quarter, but if it was in a room, it would look better. Now, what is it got bigger and it flashed more colors. When you do that, it'll increase every stat with a higher speed, and so it essentially motivates the workforce. They see someone get killed and they go, "Oh, I don't want that to be me. I better work harder." So it's a good way to motivate the workforce. For instance, in your control room, just bring a con worker there once in a while and just kill one. And that'll essentially keep everyone in the con room, in the control room, as long as it's a small enough one like this, working effectively. Now, since I don't have anybody on the world map, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and shut this down again. Because I don't need anybody wasting their time in there when don't have anybody on the world map. All those should have gone dark by now, yeah. Okay, so now I got my one tile corridor back. I'm going to go ahead and place my barracks. Sorry if you noticed any interruption there. I had to go away from the computer for a minute. Okay, so what we're going to do here is once this is built here, I'm going to build this piece of corridor here. That'll allow me to build my one tile corridor along here. That way I can keep channeling the agents I want down this way and towards here. Oh, I'm not going to worry about that because I have to extend that corridor anyways after. Okay, so let's go down and check how things are doing. Now you see what I mean by how it accentuates the look of the jail? Yeah, it's more of an aesthetic design. It doesn't really necessarily mean anything, but it doesn't take up all too much room either. Well, actually, it does take up quite a bit of room, but I still have enough room for some training equipment and maybe a small laboratory. So, it's good enough for me. Right here would be a good place to put my freak trigger. Maybe that's what I'll save it for. Oh, also just so you know, when it comes to population, your base population capacity is actually based on your notoriety. So as you go up in notoriety, like every 50 or 100, it'll like boost your population. I don't know exactly how it works, but so you'll have actually a maximum a minimum capacity that you don't need lockers to accentuate, as long as you have a high enough notoriety, and then you can just use the lockers to build on top of that. So once you reach the maximum 500 notoriety, it'll actually mean you don't need a single locker to have 100 minions. And that's quite nice. Alright, I'll somebody work on that. Oh, you know what? I can make somebody work on that. Here's a small trick. Take your evil genius, and if you put it over a build tag, you notice it changes to an arrow. So right click, and let's just go see where Max is. Now, look at the floor. If you notice, everything that on the floor has a perfect reflection. It's really interesting, actually. But every single floor in every single room reflects. Maybe not the hotel. I think one of the floors in the hotel might be carpeted. Anyways, every single floor in the main base has a unique floor tile look, so you can easily identify the rooms. But also, each one has its own. Each one is perfectly reflective of what's on it. Now, if you're wondering about why Max's circle of influence is getting cut, that's actually not due to any sort of graphical glitch. All that means is those are sections that automatically lead up to the base mountain. In other words, you can't build there. In fact, the minions can't even walk there, which is why it cuts off the circle of influence at that point. So watch what he does. See how now the build tag is sparkling? And look at that, it's lit up. So that means now somebody is immediately going to focus on getting that part done. Pretty cool, huh? So do we have any hold? Yes, we do. So, time to capture the maid. So he just goes and punches her in the face. Okay, so the maid is knocked out. As soon as she's tagged for capture, she'll immediately be brought to the armory, If you don't have any holding cells, they're simply going to drop her on the floor. If you have holding cells, but none are empty, they're also just going to drop on the floor. If you have holding cells that one's free, they'll automatically put her inside the holding cell. If you don't have an armory at all, then they're literally just going to leave them where they drop. So make sure you have an empty holding cell before you choose somebody to be captured, or else they're just going to end up being dragged to your armory, and if they wake up, especially if it's a saboteur or a super agent, you're going to really pay. So as you can see, that was immediately done, nice and quickly. So if you want something done now and it can't wait, all you have to do is get a minion to automatically go and do it for you by right-clicking on the build order with your evil genius. Now, since I've got four things, I like to build 4 chairs. That way I can instantly empty all of them at the same time if needed. Oops, that was MSN. No, I don't want MSN. Go away, MSN. Okay. The civilian maid could yield useful information. Can yield useful information to your men. Interrogate her to train up an advanced minion. So now that as soon as I got the chairs built, I can go ahead and do that. Excuse me just a moment, please. Well, sorry, I just had to exit out of the game for a second to do some stuff in the background. Now, since I just had the game paused, you still saw it trailing a little bit, but that's okay. Now I'm going to leave this to be built until a little bit later.